Hey guys, Brandon with Mowing to Millions here. Today I want to make a video on our hiring process and how I would create a hiring process depending on what stage of business that you're in. We use a 5-stage hiring process. Stage 1 is the application. Stage 2, phone screen. Stage 3 is the in-person interview. Stage 4 is a reference check. And stage 5 is a trial day. So the application is just the online application that we have. Our ATS, applicant tracking software, sends that to all free job boards on the internet for us. Second is a phone screen. This is run by the office. So it's a 10 to 15 minute preliminary call made by the office in order to save the general manager time. 3 is the in-person interview. So this stage is actually with the general manager, the hiring manager. And this is much longer. So this is a 30 to 40 minute sit down here at the office where we actually go into the job. He asks more questions and really explains and sells the position to the applicant. Stage 4 is the reference check. This is where we're calling all their past references and making sure everything checks out and checking how their past performance was at other jobs. And stage 5 is the trial day. This is where someone actually comes in. So they're offered a trial day. They get to work with our team for one day, see if they like how we work, and our team gets to see if they like how they work. At the end of the day, we write them a check for $20 an hour. That way, if they don't like it, they already have their money and we part ways. And if we like them, we just have them start ASAP. Depending on where you are in your business, you might not be able to do all 5 of these due to either money issues or time issues. I want to go through which of these I would do if I could only do 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, and so on. This way you can gauge based on where you are in your business, which ones and how many you should be doing. First off, if I could only use 1 of these hiring stages, the number 1 I would use would be the reference check. Some people may say, well, what about the application? The reason I would choose reference check is this is maybe for some reason, maybe you're not tech savvy, maybe you don't get the internet, you don't know how to make an application. So you don't know how to make a LinkedIn, Indeed, whatever application for your job. I would just do reference checks. So this would be if people call into your office and ask if you guys are hiring, or if you know people personally or other people recommend people to you. If you don't have an application, just do a reference check. And what the reference check is, you want to make it really simple. This is all we ask applicants who come to our company. We say, all right, Johnny, so what I want to do now is I want to go through the last couple workplaces you worked at. I want to know the name of the company, the name of your supervisor, and how that supervisor is going to rate you on a scale of 1 to 10 when I call and talk to them. So let's start with your last job, where you're working at. Market Basket, cool. And what was your supervisor's name at Market Basket? John? Okay, great. And how's John going to rate you on a scale of 1 to 10 when I call and talk to him? And you want to do that with every single one. We go usually like 5 to 6 years back, and we just go down the list. Now, couple red flags to notice, right? The real red flag is some people will just hang up right there, which is great. You do not want that person. If someone hangs up the phone because you say you're going to reference check, you don't want to hire them. Another red flag would be people start saying, oh, I don't remember my supervisor's name at that job I worked at 3 months ago. I still remember the name of my supervisor from high school, my high school job. And I could get her number on my phone right now if someone actually needed it. You can't tell me that you don't remember the name of your supervisor from 3 months ago. That's a big red flag there. The reason I would just do the reference check though is we are doing frontline entry-level landscaping. We're not doing specialized hardscape or irrigation, nothing you need a certification or license for. We are mowing lawns, spreading mulch, raking leaves, trimming bushes. This is things that the kid down the street can do, the 14-year-old. So you don't need some highly specialized, highly trained person. You just need someone with good core values and a good attitude. If you can just call their last 3 workplaces and talk to their manager, and all 3 managers say, yeah, no, he was super friendly, super hardworking, super coachable, I would hire him again in an instant, then they're going to be a great person to work at your company. And the last 3 jobs are a really good representation of their work ethics. You're going to get to know what kind of person they are and how they act just based on those last 3 references. And I would tell people, hey, if you don't have references, I can't hire you, so you got to get me some references. Now, let's say you have a little more time or money and you can do 2 stages. Second one I would do would be the application. This one's a lot easier to do. You just need to post an application on Indeed, on LinkedIn, on Monster.com, on ZipRecruiter, whatever it is. You just make an application. You can copy and paste on each one. Takes a little bit of time, but it's free. You can sponsor ads on these job boards, so you can actually boost your job so more people see it. But most of them are free and you can just post it for free on there and people will apply. The great thing about the application is you can save some of your time from having to reference check everyone, because you can put a lot of your pre-qualifications that just immediately disqualify someone. Like, for example, can you legally work in the USA? If the answer is no, there is no point in moving forward because I cannot hire you legally. Same thing with like, do you have a driver's license? If your company is you and you have 2 trucks and you need someone else to drive the truck, if they don't have a license, they just can't work there. So there's no point in wasting either your time. That's what's great about an application is you never have to talk to them. They fill it out, they say, I don't have a driver's license, and it'll just auto reject them for you, so you never even have to deal with it. If I could only do 3 steps, it would be trial day. I'd add that. The reason I'd add the trial day is you actually have the person come work with you for a day and you get to see how they work. How do they handle adversity? How do they handle the heat? Can they actually do the work physically? Do they have the stamina? So it's great. And they actually work with you for a day, so they are, generating some revenue. If they're terrible, yeah, you won't generate a ton of revenue, but they're doing something. You're not just sitting in an interview like making no money. Because if you're both sitting in an interview chatting, neither of you are making money for the company. If you do a trial day, you're at least both making the company money that day. And it's good because the person can also see if they're not a good fit. Sometimes they'll tell you halfway through, hey man, this isn't a good fit for me. I'll just take my check, you can drop me off. And it's a lot more amicable to split. Now, if I could do 4 things, it would be the in-person interview. Now, like I said in the beginning, a lot of these are dependent on your time and money. I would not be doing in-person interviews unless I had the time to do them. Because like I mentioned with the trial day, if you are sitting in an office or Starbucks or your shop space, wherever, doing an in-person interview with someone, neither of you are making money for the business. The business just isn't making money. Obviously, you have other workers, they are generating revenue, but you're not. I'd only recommend doing this if you have the time, because you have other workers working, to run in-person interviews. And what's great is this is where you can start really selling those higher performers, because it's gonna be tougher to attract higher performers to your company if you're just doing like 1, 2, or 3 of these. Because a real high performer, they want to work at a good company. They want to work at a professional team environment, great culture company with good compensation and whatnot. And if you're only offering like 1, 2, or 3 of these, you're not going to appear as a really professional, high value company. So most of them just never will apply. The more you can add, the more you'll be able to attract higher performers naturally. Again, you still find high performers just using these, but adding things is how you find more of them. Last thing, 5, would be the phone screen. Now, this is where time and money come into play, because a phone screen, you can do it yourself, but generally you'll just have an office person do this. And our phone screen really has 2 parts to it. One is I'm just re-asking a lot of the application questions. Because we have the time and the money, I can afford to just have the office re-ask some questions, because something you'll find is people like to lie. It's a real shame. People will just lie on their application. So the first half of our phone screen is just re-asking the questions on the application and seeing if they lied to us or not. Second half is just warning them about the reference check and saying, okay, like I said, we're gonna call your references. I need you to rate how each reference is gonna rate you 1 to 10 in your past job. And I'm saving the general manager's time, which is like a 30 to 40 minute in-person interview, by having the office person do like a 10 to 15 minute interview. Because not only am I wasting 30 to 40 minutes of his time, that's 30 to 40 minutes he could be out doing an estimate or helping train the team or working in the field himself. His time, the general manager, is more valuable than the office person's time whose whole job is to make calls all day. That's the 5 stages, guys, and that's how I would add them if I was growing my company from 0 to $1 million. If you have questions, ask them in the comments. Join the Facebook group, Mowing to Millions. Also like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I hope to see you guys again soon.